So I've decided I'm gonna, as busy as I am, I still do practice. I practice a little bit every day. Sometimes I practice a lot. But I decided maybe people would find it helpful and or interesting if they saw some of the things that are things I practice, ways I go at things and problem solve. So to begin with, let me just mention, and I'll do these on electric too, periodically. It's really hard for me to make time for things like this, but I'm going to now. So first of all, just tuning the instrument itself is very important. There's all kinds of great digital tuners, but I think it's real important for bass players to be able to tune carefully with harmonics. For example, what if you're playing with an out-of-tune piano or piano that's not at A440? Your digital tuner will not have helped you. And then also just being able to tune carefully to surrounding instruments, etc. So here's one trick. So get yourself a good starting place, A, and it's going to be the equivalent of the A that's just below middle C. And even if you're not good with your bow, start learning how to use your bow, at least for tuning on the harmonics. Notice that I'm moving the bow rather rapidly. If you move it slowly, it's quieter and it doesn't pop out quite as much. So it's the equivalent of the A on the D string. That tunes just like on your electric bass, that tunes to the first finger in the same position. Okay, now when you've got two strings like that that are very close, you notice there's a little warble in the tone. So if it's hard to tell if it's high or low, bring it low and back up until they merge. And usually in about 2 tries I get it. And then check the octave harmonics, which will now be a fourth, a D and an A harmonic. And if I've got, still turning it off. Now hear how rich and clear that fourth is. That G string though is a little off, but it's hard to tell, so I'll bring it low. Sounds good. The E to E. So I'll bring it below the pitch and back up until I hear the wavering stop. And then I check the octave. And if that fourth sounds good, if that fourth sounds good, then you know you got it. All right, here's a great warm-up. I'm a big believer in incremental work, that is letting things build on themselves and gradually. So I do a lot of things that are chromatic because here's how they can help you. If I tune just that first note on the G string, which is G sharp or A flat, then A. Hear how that A should resonate with my open A? If I got it in tune, it's going to create a sympathetic vibration with my open A string. Okay, B flat. Well, instead of just playing the chromatic scale and then going to the next position, that's great and everything, but here's a really good exercise. Let the positions overlap with each other. I play a D as a reference. Shift on second finger, B flat. Now I've played up to B. Now I come back through the B flat, and now I'm on a half step higher. First finger A. So the whole exercise is second finger shift, 4, 1. And now I play the D there. Then you do it again in that position. Now I'm on B flat. So that way you're playing a couple of notes you just played, and then you move beyond it and back, and now you're playing some of the notes with a different finger. So that's a really good, you can go all the way up the neck that way. okay? So you can take it all the way through another whole octave. All right, and you can work your way down as well. You just do the reverse. So let's just say at the octave, second finger shift. This also gives you a chance to get used to some rather dissonant intervals and still have them be in tune. Okay, don't do it as fast as I was just doing it. That's just for the sake of time. And then do this on all 4 strings. So here it is, for example, on the D string. Okay? All right. So that's a really good chromatic tuning exercise. You can work your way through the whole neck and just get comfortable with that. Well, that isn't the direction a lot of our playing goes. A lot of our playing goes across the neck. And so this is kind of just, here's one concept I've been working on for a long time. None of this is unique with me, by the way. I'm just sharing things that I've learned. So I really think that it's important to give yourself kind of blocks, points of reference, so that eventually the whole bass is... You're playing reasonably in tune all over the place. But giving yourself sort of pillars, well, everyone should know where that octave set of harmonics is, and then this set of harmonics. Okay, and then this, etc. Those harmonic locations, there's notes under them that will help you. Well, this block right here, right where the octave, right where that set of harmonics is, if you put your first finger there, the neat thing is those are the same notes, but it's an octave lower. So D harmonic, you got that same D right there. A harmonic, you got that same A right there. E. So use that reference point, because look how close you already are to that octave. So that's really good turf to know. And so using the traditional bass fingering, here's just something I've been experimenting with for a long period of time. D to E, that's a whole step. Pivot to F. In other words, if you cover all the notes that you have under your hand, it's just 3 notes: D, E flat, and F. But if you pivot a half step, you can play E and F. When might you need those notes? What key would you be in? D, E, and F. Anything in the key of C, D minor, F major. See the idea? You can think through harmonically. What's my implications of reaching those notes? What if I was in the key of B flat? I would need an E flat instead. Now pivot to the F there. So you have 1 pivot, 2, 4. You have 1, 2, pivot, 4. What if I was in the key of A? I would need a C sharp. Well, I can pivot back without even moving my thumb and play the D with either second finger or with 1. So 1, 1, 4, or 1, 2, pivot. Or you can think of it as 4, 1, pivot back. So that might fit in the key of A major or D major. And then what if I was in the key of E major? I would need a D sharp, but I still need the C sharp. So keeping my thumb all this time in the same spot. C sharp, D sharp, E. So, and And then what if I was in the key of D flat? I would need that D flat, same note, D flat or C sharp. And then E flat. I've been playing that with 2 anyway. But now I pivot again and I play F. So I have 2 whole steps. All in the same position without shifting at all. So count how many options you have right there. Chromatic, then you have this pivot, then you have this one, then you have this one, and then this one, and then the 2 whole steps. Was anyone counting? I don't know how many that is, but it's not that many. And if you do that on all 4 strings, pivoting from that one location, guess what? You can play all 12 keys in one position, just in differing inversions, okay? So I'll do a separate video sometime demonstrating that. But that careful tuning and doing it, again, you can do these with slurs. Okay, that's good enough for now. See you in the shed, as they say.